Hello, I'm Luke Middlebrook. I'm going to be talking about the blended learning style, the class rotation for the O'Farrill Charter School in the Middle School Academy. So the status quo at our campus right now. We have iPads, Promethean boards, netbooks, internet access in each classroom. But are we using each one of those technologies the best way possible? We have a lot of direct instruction, as you see in the picture, students getting information from teachers. We have a lot of collaborative group work with students in general. So here's your worksheet. Students work together. How can we talk about it? How can we discuss it? We have a lot of collaboration and communication within the classroom. We do not use a lot of technology within our lessons. So how can we change that? So what do we need to make changes to? The first thing we need to do is train our teachers for using technology. We have a lot of teachers who are not trained in the use of technology or trained in the use of implementing blended learning into their classroom. I think this is one of the main reasons why we don't have it. Teachers don't feel comfortable, and that's a main issue. I think once we can train our teachers say, you know what, I'm comfortable using this technology in my classroom. I'm comfortable having Google Drive for students to turn their work in or to save their work, or I'm comfortable with having like a Padlet or using Haiku to turn information in. And I think the reason why maybe they're not so confident is because the technology on our site is pretty new. We are still integrating technology step by step. So the technology on our site is not old. I mean, it's been there for a few years, so teachers are actually transitioning to a very new style with having technology in the room. The next thing we need to do, we need to find blended learning tied with AVID strategies. We're a national AVID demonstration school, and with that, we need to make sure that we're constantly using the AVID strategies within each of our classrooms. So we need to find blended learning that could actually support the collaboration that we would need and the communication to ensure that we actually are meeting our demonstration status. We need to update our technology. So while some of it is new, in the past couple of years, it has become outdated in the sense of what it can provide. The netbooks that we have, the processors need to be updated. It just takes too long for them to get onto the internet. The iPads we have, the Chromebooks, the desktop computers, those are all great, but we just need to update the actual netbooks or get rid of them and just get all iPads. The second thing we need to update is our bandwidth. We do not have enough bandwidth to actually support every single student to access the internet, or for a majority of our students to access blended learning. So for blended learning to actually be achievable, we need to update the facilities and the hardware of our school. So what type of blended learning would suit us best? Without a doubt, it'd be classroom rotation. So how would class rotation work best for our teachers? We know that our students have many different levels of skills, many different levels of cooperability, of collaboration, of being able to work together. So teachers could set groups up that could work well together, set groups up based on skill level. And this would allow for teachers to provide what each group needed. So one group could go from blended learning to the guided practice station and then come to the teacher. And the teacher could have a individualized lesson on whatever they need. We know that all of our students need A, B, C, and D off our formative assessment. So we're going to make 4 stations. We're going to have A, B, C, and D. Each student is going to hit all of these stations, and then I'm going to have a check for understanding at the very end when they come talk to me. So it allows for teachers to really make sure that we can use our data to provide the best learning for our students and actually use technology in every single situation that we have teaching. How would it work for our students? Our students will be able to get access that they need. They'd be able to move at their own personal pace by using the iPads in the stations. So when we get to the group work, it would be students each go on an individual assignment. They can go by themselves and move at their own pace. So how would it work with our facilities and technology? Our facilities could support the use of classroom rotation. We have small classroom sizes, so classroom rotation would actually work. We know that some classrooms, having students get up and move around the room is not feasible. So maybe actually having the technology shift around the room itself along with the teacher could be possibly one of the best ways to achieve that. We also know that our technology, we have it in carts, we have iPads, we have enough to fit the classroom. So this would actually work well with having a mobile access, a mobile learning, with having the technology go to the students, or the students go to the technology. We have a lot of iPads, which means every student can hold one. So classroom rotation would work well with what we already have. So why not the other models? Why not lab rotation? Why not flex model? And why not the pod model? For lab rotation, we do not have the facilities or the lab to support this. We have one computer lab and we have one spot for this. So having students walk out of the room or leave the room to go to the lab and then come back in and do more of a rotation in itself with the lab wouldn't work, because with our culture and our policies, we would need students to have constant supervision. So the lab itself, having students go into the lab and come out, wouldn't work. Plus, we wouldn't need to do that because we all have iPads and individual devices. So since the fixtures aren't in a set spot, we wouldn't need students to go to them when we can bring it to the students. The flex model. With Avid demonstration schools, we need to make sure that we are constantly using Avid technologies. We're using Avid strategies. So having students go and learn by themselves and then come in one or at a set time to talk to the teacher may not work best for our students as well. We want to supplement the teaching with the teacher by adding technology, not supplementing the technology by adding a teacher. And then the pod model. We have a very particular class culture, a very particular school culture on how we break up our classrooms. And it's all by grade and skill level. So having the pod model would actually break down what we have already set up in our classroom culture. So using the pod model wouldn't be effective for what we have now. So we want to make sure that we keep what we already have and continue with that. Thank you.